promoting literacy across South Carolina's capital. That's the goal behind the inaugural Read Freely Fest happening this weekend. Organizers of the free event say it's important now more than ever to increase accessibility to books. The latest report by the Annie E. Casey Foundation says literacy proficiency among South Carolina fourth graders are the same, if not lower, than the national average.
Specifically with this book festival, we wanted to make sure that people could come out and, like I said, have the opportunity to maybe meet your favorite author, to take part in discussions. There's a lot of talk about banned books right now, so we will have a banned book panel here at Read Freely Fest.
The Read Freely Fest, which includes live music, book sales, and panels, runs all through this weekend. Participants and partners of the South Carolina Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics are receiving some recognition this week. It was announced that the State Transport Police raised the most amount of money for the organization in 2024. Additional fundraising efforts by Dunkin', Publix, and Chick-fil-A helped raise over $1.2 million last year. The Keeper of the Flame Award was also presented to a lieutenant with the Greenwood County Sheriff's Office.
Demonstrators are gathering in Washington, D.C. today ahead of a South Carolina Planned Parenthood case set to be heard by the U.S. Supreme Court. Medina versus Planned Parenthood stems from McMaster's 2018 order to strip Medicaid funding from the organization. Planned Parenthood then filed a lawsuit arguing the move violates a patient's right to choose their own provider. Last month, roughly 100 members of Congress filed a brief encouraging judges to side with the state. Oral arguments are set to start on Wednesday. A brand new $90 million medical technology production facility is opening up in North Charleston today. According to officials with SHL Medical, the 360,000 square foot facility brings 165 new jobs to the Lowcountry. The new facility will act as a hub for advanced manufacturing and medical technology innovation. Today marks the South Carolina Department of Transportation's annual Spring Spruce Up Day. State leaders say it's a major effort to clear debris and litter as travel picks up with the start of spring. As volunteers from all 47 counties are taking part, officials are asking drivers to use extra caution.
Susan Smith, the South Carolina woman convicted of murdering her two sons in 1994, has been denied parole. That story tops your Spectrum News in 90. Following a unanimous decision by the parole board, the now 53-year-old Susan Smith must wait another 2 years before requesting parole again. This comes after Smith spoke before the board, pleading for forgiveness and sharing her remorse for the decision, which took the lives of her sons, 3-year-old Michael and 14-month-old Alex. The Office of Victim Services then brought forward those who wished to deny Smith parole, one of which was Smith's ex-husband and the father of Michael and Alex, David Smith.
In the last 30 years, through her action, has continued to proven that it's all about her. What all this has done to her, how it has affected her. I haven't seen any remorse from her.
David also shared that he will continue to return to future parole hearings to ensure that Susan remains in prison. For Spectrum News, I'm Alyssa Young. Now let's take a quick look at your weather on the One's forecast.
And it's National Pollinator Week, and yesterday, Keep Florence Beautiful partnered with local organizations to mark the occasion. The nonprofit and other vendors were distributing packets of wildflower seeds and other items used to make at-home gardens pollinator friendly.
Especially with our commercial beekeepers, pollination is their big thing. It is major, and we try to teach people on what are some local plants and trees that they can plant to help the bees to survive and also enjoy at their own home. But pollination it's absolutely vital.
Hilborn says sunflowers, cosmos, lilacs, roses, and others can help bees survive.
Multiple cities across the state saw protests Saturday called the No Kings Day movement by its organizers. The rallies are part of a national effort to protest President Donald Trump's immigration raids and policies. Saturday also marked the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, President Trump's 79th birthday, and Flag Day. A large crowd of demonstrators were out in full force in Florence. Many were holding signs and chanting as cars drove by.
We're here to show that there are no kings, and this is Flag Day We are here to represent America, not one person who represents themselves as a dictator or a king. We stand for all Americans. And so it's no better day to be here than today.
Earlier this week, South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson said protests must be peaceful and nonviolent or arrests would be made.
Spectrum's Alyssa Young has more from South Carolina on the vice president's remarks.
I'm at Nucor Steel Mill in Huger, South Carolina, where Vice President J.D. Vance was joined by U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's Chief Lee Zeldin, along with several South Carolina leaders such as Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evitt and U.S. Representative Nancy Mace. According to the White House, Vance and Zeldin's visit is meant to promote America's, quote, manufacturing renaissance during the Trump administration's first 100 days in office. Company leaders say the vice president's visit also highlights the Trump administration's reinstatement of the Section 232 steel tariffs, which they believe have helped level the playing field for domestic steel producers.
Do you want to ship American jobs off to the People's Republic of China? Do you want to rely on foreign corporations to make the things that you need in your homes and your families need every single day? So why don't we rebuild America's middle class? Why don't we rebuild American manufacturing? And why don't we rebuild American industry just like you're doing right here? And isn't it nice to have an administration that supports you for a change?
Meanwhile, U.S. Congressman Jim Clyburn, who is a Democrat that represents South Carolina's 6th congressional district, released a statement Thursday morning. It reads, South Carolinians will not be fooled by J.D. Vance's rhetoric. The Trump administration's economic record in its first 100 days has been an abysmal failure. The vice president's visit comes just 2 days after President Donald Trump held a rally in Michigan to mark his first 100 days in office. In Huger, South Carolina, I'm Alyssa Young. Walking along the horseshoe portion of the University of South Carolina's campus, placed right by the McKissick Museum, stands a monument that represents change.
From 1880, when the university reopened after Reconstruction, all the way to 1963, African Americans were not allowed on this campus.
Evan Falkenberry is a historian with the university. He says the monument is based on a photograph, a single picture capturing the moment when Honoré Monteith, Robert Anderson, and James Solomon Jr. became the first African American students to enroll at USC. Jamaican artist Basil Watson sculpted the monument, ensuring this symbol of equality would stand proud.
It was a big historic moment, for the university and for the country as well.
These are the very steps that Anderson, Solomon, and Monteith walked down after enrolling at USC as the first African American students. These steps are also featured in the monument.
Steps. You can see books built in to the monuments, and of course there were no real books in the real steps. But here, like artists do, they're not trying to tell you exactly what it means, but we can infer that, they're in this place of knowledge, and they're also creating more knowledge and more opportunity.
Falkenberry says he hopes the monument helps students immerse themselves in the history of the campus and that it conveys a sense that they are joining the march. Reporting for Spectrum News, I'm Alyssa Young.
It's prom season, and as students across the country prepare for their big day, Spectrum's Alyssa Young spoke with one sheriff's office in South Carolina about how they're working to make sure every student gets home safely.
Prom night is meant to be a memorable night for young students all across the country, filled with dancing, dresses, tucks, and pictures. It's important for students to make it memorable for the right reasons. Deputy Thomas Collins with the Richland County Sheriff's Department spends a lot of his time in the local school systems as a security resource officer. He says that this time of year, the message he's trying to spread is all about safety.
The message is that when you come to proms, just be safe, have fun, enjoy yourself. Please check in with your parents, be mindful in your curfew, and make sure you have a charged cell phone. Just in case that your ride's late, you can call them and so they can be on the way.
One program that students and parents may be familiar with is the DARE program. DARE is a police officer-led series of lessons that teaches children how to resist peer pressure and live productive and violent-free lives.
Diving into that drug and alcohol prevention program is very, very important, so they'll know, I shouldn't even be doing this. But if you do decide to do it, do not drink and drive.
Deputy Haynes says advancements in technology have helped make it easier for parents to get involved in their child's safety, including apps where they can track their kids.
Parents, look into that Life 360 app. That Life 360 app has so many resources. You can see where your kid is, have your kid check in with you. You can even look at their location history.
Deputy Joanna Washington is part of the community activist team and also shared some tips to stay safe during prom night.
We don't want them to be going anywhere by themselves, to the restroom, anything. Just make sure you always have someone around you. Also, don't sit your drink down. We don't want anyone to put anything in anybody's drink, spike anybody's drink, anything that will impede them from getting home.
These safety warnings come as the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates over 30% of all traffic collision deaths in the U.S. involves a drunk driver.
Everybody's aware of it, and when we have times like this or big events that come out, we make sure we upstaff people to make sure that the roads are going to be as safe as we can make them.
Be sure to keep in mind, buckle up when in a vehicle, don't drink and drive, keep your phone charged, and most importantly,
just have fun this prom season. It's a memorable night. Just get home safely.
Reporting for Spectrum News, I'm Alyssa Young.